historic moment in San Francisco just minutes ago. The city's newest mayor, London Breed, sworn into office. She's the first African-American woman to hold the position.
Now, London Breed wants to take $120 million away from the city's law enforcement budget as a form of reparations toward the black community.
Tonight, Jesse Waters Primetime is declaring San Francisco has hit rock bottom.
John caught a shooting on one of the many security cameras he has set up outside his home. In it, you can see a man shooting a gun multiple times in the middle of an intersection as people and cars go by.
The survey during the pandemic showed vandalism in Castro cost $170,000 worth of damage in a year.
What is happening on the streets of the Tenderloin, drug dealing, violence, even killing.
There's concern that San Francisco could turn into a so-called zombie city with its downtown hollowed out.
It's not to say that we don't have our challenges. We're a major city.
It's a tale as old as time. A politician rises to power with big promises, the city goes downhill, and suddenly they become the villain. San Francisco's mayor, London Breed, might just be the latest chapter in that story, but with a plot twist involving violating ethics, maskless dance-offs, and pandas. Yeah, pandas. The people in San Francisco booted out this mayor, so let's just talk about it. Let's dive into the chaos. Breed wasn't just any mayor, she broke barriers as San Francisco's first black woman in the role. Now, apparently she grew up in poverty, made it to the top, and at one point was seen as the beacon of hope for the city. But as they say, the higher you climb, the harder you fall, and especially if you're not really good at what you're doing. And I tell you, San Francisco tripped and stumbled along the way dealing with this mayor. Now, San Francisco wasn't exactly paradise on earth when Breed took office in 2018. But things got worse under her watch. First, let's talk about crime. Headlines about smash and grab robberies, open drug markets became so common, you think they probably put this in the city's tourism brochure. Breed insisted the numbers were improving, but for many residents, it didn't feel that way.
9.5 months into the year, and San Francisco police say there have been more than 15,000 car break-ins so far this year.
There are many small business owners across the Bay Area who are fed up with the crime and other problems impacting their bottom line.
The mentally ill and the drug addicted are applying pressures that a small business shouldn't have to deal with to be successful.
And then there's the homelessness crisis in San Francisco. They spent millions of dollars addressing it.
And in a crazy report out of San Francisco, the city set up tent sites for homeless people and ended up spending $61,000 a year for each tent, or more than $5,000 a month per tent.
The city thought it would be covered by FEMA, but apparently it's not. So the price falls back to the city and, of course, the taxpayer.
A few tents and a lot of people, some doing drugs.
But when people saw tent cities growing instead of shrinking, they started to ask themselves, where is the money going? Critics argued that Breed wasn't doing enough. While she claimed progress, pointing to the 10,000 people who have been helped off the streets since 2018. But let's face it, when your plan includes moving the tents as a key feature, it's not exactly a slam dunk. It's not exactly fixing the problem. And then there's more problems. Ethic violations. In 2021, Breed got slapped with a nearly $23,000 fine for, let's call it, questionable judgment.
The biggest violation involves the scandal around disgraced former Public Works Director Mohammed Nuru. He paid for the mayor's car repairs in 2019. He was later charged with fraud in a widespread City Hall corruption probe. And you may remember in 2018, while mayor, Breed asked then Governor Jerry Brown to release her brother from prison. He's serving a 44-year sentence for manslaughter and armed robbery. Breed was also dinged for not reporting money used to pay for her float at the Pride Parade, which technically qualified as a campaign contribution.
Like accepting a $5,600 car repair gift from a former city official. Fun fact, he's also happened to be under federal investigation at the time. So not a really great move by the mayor here. And who could forget the infamous nightclub moment? While the rest of us was forced to wear masks during the pandemic, Breed was out there partying without one.
San Francisco Mayor London Breed is under fire after video has come to light that shows her maskless, dancing and singing during a live indoor performance by the 90s R&B group Tony Tony Tony. That is Breed there on the left, and her critics are seizing on this, saying that she violated her own health department's masking order, which came out in August and applies to the vaccinated, like the mayor, and the unvaccinated.
Defending herself with the iconic line, I was feeling the spirit.
You're going to get up and start dancing. My drink was sitting at the table. I got up and started dancing because I was feeling the spirit. And I wasn't thinking about a mask. No, I'm not going to sip and put my mask on. Sip and put my mask on. Sip and put my mask on. Eat and put my mask on. While I'm eating and I'm drinking, I'm going to keep my mask off.
Not exactly what voters wanted to hear when they were still scared to leave their house and wiping down their groceries. And then there was the Panda Party. Yeah, you heard that right. Pandas.
Guess what, San Franciscans? I have some really exciting news. We have some cute, cuddly, black and white beauties coming to our city. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Pandas to San Francisco.
While San Francisco's small businesses were grasping for air under strict COVID mandates, London Breed decided to take a diplomatic trip to China. The goal? To strengthen economic ties and apparently negotiate a deal for pandas in the San Francisco Zoo. Because, of course, when your city is battling homelessness, crimes, and shuttered storefronts, pandas are a top priority. Now imagine you're a store owner in a city. You've been through the ringer, forced closures, staff layoffs, mounting debt. And all the while, the same government enforcing these rules is just sitting across the world for, let's be honest, pandas, zoo decor. That's the kind of thing that gets under people's skin. It's not just about the pandas, it's the principle. Meanwhile, back home, businesses were still going under. Workers were left scrambling to find new jobs. Breed administration argued the trip was part of a broader strategy for economic recovery. But the critics weren't buying it. One resident summed it up perfectly. I don't need a panda, I need a paycheck. The panda escapade wasn't just tone deaf, it was a symbol of a growing divide between City Hall and everyday residents. People started to ask questions. If this is where the mayor focus is, who is fighting for us? Now let's talk about the Tenderloin, a neighborhood that's become infamous for its open-air drug markets.
The Tenderloin, a neighborhood in downtown San Francisco that encompasses about 50 square blocks and is home to some of the highest levels of crime, drug addiction, and homelessness in the city.
The Tenderloin District is San Francisco's epicenter of homelessness, drug abuse, and crime.
Breed promised to clean it up, but her approach stirred up plenty of drama. One of her proposals was mandatory drug screening for welfare recipients. Critics quickly labeled it as Reagan-era policy on steroids, arguing that it unfairly targeted vulnerable communities. Mind you, San Francisco is still extremely liberal, so this kind of policy wouldn't work for a lot of them. But there were some supporters, on the other hand, that applauded her for taking such a rough stance. But again, like I said, this is a very liberal neighborhood. And then Breed made some more mistakes. During a radio interview, Breed claimed that many of the drug dealers in this area was migrants from Honduras. The backlash was immediate. Again, this is a very liberal place. Community leaders accused her for racial profiling, and the social media lit up with a lot of debates. Breed tried to walk it back, saying that she wasn't trying to stereotype anyone, but just was stating the facts. This apology didn't exactly calm the storm. As if the ethics scandals weren't enough, Breed decided to double down in the worst possible way. In 2023, she proposed significant budget cuts to the very ethics commission tasked with keeping the city officials in check. You know, the people who fined her $23,000 just a couple of years earlier. It's like grounding yourself and then deciding you're done with the rules. The cuts were framed as a broader financial belt tightening of the city, but critics weren't buying it. The Ethics Commission argued that the reductions would severely impact their ability to investigate corruption and enforce accountability. Translation: the watchdog's bark was about to get a whole lot quieter. For San Francisco's already fed up with the city hall, this move felt like a slap in the face. At a time where trust in leadership was at an all-time low, people wondered, if you have nothing to hide, why kneecap the very agency meant to ensure transparency? It didn't take long for the whispers of backroom deals and political self-preservation to grow louder. In politics, showing up is half the battle, like literally. But one of the most crucial moments in her campaign, London Breed chose not to show up.
Here in the Bay Area, it's a tight race to become San Francisco's next mayor. 4 of the top candidates will face off in a debate tomorrow night right here on CBS News Bay Area. And Mayor London Breed has agreed to attend, but has since pulled out.
The stage is literally set for this debate that is sponsored by CBS News Bay Area, as well as the San Francisco Examiner and KCBS Radio. And this debate was designed to be a deep dive into some of the top issues facing San Francisco voters. But without its mayor, London Breed, on the stage, it does give the other candidates a chance to break out of the pack. The mayor's campaign team tells CBS News Bay Area in a statement that she, quote, has already participated in 4 debates. Unlike Daniel Lurie and Mark Farrell, Mayor Breed has a job. She has to balance the demands of running a city while also running a campaign. She has a limited amount of time, and she wants to speak directly with voters as much as possible.
After initially committing to the key mayoral debate, she pulled out at the last minute. Her reason? She was too busy running the city to dedicate time to the debate stage. Full of crap. I guess it's supposed to be a noble excuse, but not exactly the message you want to send to your leadership is already under fire. The other candidates wasted no time to seize this opportunity without Breed there to defend herself.
Mayor Breed has no vision for the future of San Francisco.
An outside New York billionaire just last week wrote a check to Mayor London Breed. And as contrast, and my mother's here tonight, she wrote me a check for $150. And I'm so proud of that check.
I have never received more complaints than since Mayor Breed started these sweeps a month ago, because sweeps don't solve the problem. They just move homeless people from one neighborhood to another.
Well, unfortunately, Mayor Breed lacks vision. And that's one of the reasons why I think the voters of San Francisco are going to be asking for change this November.
The debate became an open siege on her track record. Homelessness, crime, ethics scandals. The candidates painted a brutal picture of an administration out of touch and ineffective. And without the mayor there to counter their arguments, those narratives stuck. Sure, there's always a risk of stumbling into a high-stakes debate, but the risk of not even showing up is even worse. Voters just don't want policies. They want confidence, accountability, and someone willing to fight for their position. Breed's absence sent the opposite message. She just didn't care. In the end, avoiding the stage might have been the defining misstep of her administration. The writing was on the wall, and when the final numbers came in, London Breed had lost.
She is out after a decade of influence in San Francisco, first as a supervisor, and for the last 6 years as mayor. London Breed is done. Breed officially conceded to political newcomer Daniel Lurie.
After years dominating San Francisco's politics, she conceded to the political newcomer Danny Lurie, a nonprofit founder with no prior political experience.
Some political analysts, they say this is a rebuke of the mayor and her administration, but Breed defended her time in office, saying she's proud of the work that she's done.
But in the meantime, my plan in the next 2 months is to continue to move San Francisco forward and to ensure that there is a smooth transition.
The margin was a solid 56% to Breed's 44%. In the city's ranked choice voting system, that is considered a landslide. Despite breaking barriers as the first black female mayor and facing some of these challenges, she could not handle the issues that plagued the city. From homelessness to drug crisis, she just didn't get the job done. But what do you guys think about the situation? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I see you guys in the next video.